Okay, so it's been a while since I made a video. Thought I'd show you guys what I've been up to. Moved most of my graveyard outside, and then I gotta move it again. That's just recently added from the 68. I got a bunch of old stuff, the old steering out of the Craftsman, the wheel, sprocket from the 68, all my tire and wheel combos here. Got shrouds, spindles, and all that good stuff. You know it's getting cold when the water in your seat is starting to freeze. Winter's coming. So now, bring you inside, show you what I've been working on, show you the plans really. And there she is. I got both these frames stripped down, transaxle out of the 111. And what I'm planning on doing is I want to keep this frame, because this is a nice solid frame. I really like it. I'm going to use it for maybe if I ever do another project, get a parts mower and put some parts on this. But as of right now, I really had no use for it, as my 111 had the 11 horsepower engine in it, and there it is. My problem is here. She was standing up, but fell over, and at that point, noticed there was oil leaking from somewhere, and I don't know if it was there. But I went in and I checked. I don't know what you call that. I guess the bore or whatever. I'm not an expert on all this stuff, so everything I've learned is off YouTube. I don't really know what it's called, but I went in there, went with the nail, and you could feel there was carbon buildup on it, and it's got some pretty deep scratches in it, which I figured might be part of my problem. But now oil's coming from somewhere. I just don't know where, and I don't really feel like figuring it out at this moment. So what I'm going to do, is my plan, is I'm not going to work on this. This is just nothing right now. It's not scrap, but it's just nothing at this point. What I want to do is I want to take that transaxle, because instead of running bearings over to it, over through the back end of the 68, instead of running my bearings down here and then coming across with the shaft and putting the engine down again and just going back to the little Peerless, which is a nice transmission, I just don't want to use that. What I'm going to do is take that transaxle right there and put it back here. I'm going to use these, which came off the original transaxle, and I'm going to put them down in the frame, and hopefully I can put it there. Then I'm going to move my engine up. That way I've got room, and then just run a small belt between the two, and then this gives me room to put my seat. I'm going to put a seat either here, or I'm going to move the seat up to here and put some fenders here. And what I want to do with this steering, I'm not too fond of it, is take this. As you can see, it's got that two end, and I want to bring it down and build something into here so I've got direct steer, which I would like to have in it. I don't know if any of this is possible, but I'm going to give it a shot. And what I also want to do is either I'm going to modify this front bar here. Well, I really don't know what it's called. But I'm either going to do that, or I'm going to modify some spindles. Because the way these spindles are set up is they're only big enough, the shaft, well, I guess it would be the shaft. The shaft is only big enough to fit these tires. So I'd either have to get spacers and everything to fit different ones in, and then cut off the back ends to make them fit, or put new spindles in, which I'm thinking about doing, because I have an extra set off the Craftsman. I've got 2 of them. These are the old ones, and I'd like to put them in there, whichever way they go, doesn't really matter, but I'd like to put them in there. That way I can get bigger tires on the front, and then keep big tires on the back. But that's what I'm hoping on doing. Getting started on it now. Dropped the transaxle out, took everything out. I've got to put a new clutch into this though. I don't know how I'm going to do that. That's still, I might just take the old clutch, I don't know yet, and just put it back in, but I don't know how that's going to work, if I'm going to move the engine. But that's the plan for right now. What I want to do is, if we go out here, and we go out to my parts area, or the graveyard I call it, you got our old tires. What we got are these old, I guess you could say, fenders. I don't really know what you'd call them. As I said, I don't know much about this stuff. I never claimed to. But, whatever works. Okay, so we take these old fenders here. What I want to do is put them here. Like, I don't know if you can, there you go. Put them there. So that this thing still has, like, that's not how they sit really, but this thing still has fenders. I'm not putting bodywork back in. I'm just going to say that. I'm not putting it back on. I'm just going to leave it as a frame to lighten it up type of thing. And I don't like the bodywork on it. But that's the way we'll put the second one on. Second one's a little dirty. These are pretty sturdy for what they're, for stamped steel, I believe these are made out of. So, but the fenders would go on. They're not in place, but they would go on, and that's basically all I would have as bodywork. Is just these fenders here, if you want to call them fenders. I really don't care, but to protect some mud sloshing. But if that just might not work, there's the old, the older Peerless. This is the old pulley out of the transaxle I want to put in. It's 2 different sizes, if you can see. It's got a little more. This one's bigger, but I changed those out. But that's the plan. Just thought I'd run that by you. If you have any suggestions or comments on it, you can definitely. I would definitely appreciate any constructive criticism on these projects, because, like I said, I don't really know what I'm doing here. I'm just taking it one day at a time and seeing where it goes. So, if you know what you're doing and if you have better ways or have problems with how it's going to get done, just let me know, because I really appreciate it, okay?